families and the law. New parents. Family law in Alberta is complicated, but learning about the law that applies to your situation is a good first step. This video is one in a series that talks about different parts of family law in Alberta. This video has information for new parents. Let's start with talking about being pregnant and the law. Being pregnant can be an exciting and overwhelming experience. Depending on your personal situation, you may be thinking about your options. But whatever you decide, there are things you should know. While you're pregnant, you will need medical care. There is no law that says how old you must be to make your own decisions about medical treatment. You can make your own medical decisions even if you are a minor, as long as you understand your situation, the information that you were given about treatment, and the consequences of deciding for or against treatment. You may also be working while pregnant. Your employer cannot discriminate against you or fire you for being pregnant. Depending upon your job, you may need accommodation at work, such as not having to lift heavy items. Your employer must accommodate you to the point of undue hardship, which means the point where accommodation becomes too onerous for your employer. If you think your employer has discriminated against you because you are pregnant, you can file a complaint with the Alberta Human Rights Commission. What about a father's rights during pregnancy? A biological father has no legal right to be involved with the pregnancy. This means the birth mother can make decisions about the pregnancy and does not need to discuss them with the biological father. Once the child is born, however, the biological father does have rights, including a right to have a relationship with the child. Some new parents might be thinking about adoption or abortion during the pregnancy. Adoption is when someone other than the parent raises the child and takes on all the legal responsibilities for the child. You can make the decision to place your child for adoption during pregnancy or any time after the child is born. There are three kinds of adoptions. Government adoptions are where the government arranges the adoption between the birth parents and the adoptive parents. Private adoptions allow birth parents to choose someone on their own, such as a family member. You can also use the services of a licensed agency. International adoptions are where a child is adopted from another country. All the child's guardians must consent to an adoption. Guardians are usually the child's biological mother and biological father. An abortion is a medical procedure to end a pregnancy. Abortions are legal in Canada and performed by doctors. Abortions after 24 weeks of pregnancy are rare. A biological mother does not need the biological father's consent before having an abortion. In the case of a minor, parents' consent is not needed unless the doctor believes that the birth mother is not mature enough to understand the consequences of this medical procedure. When a child is born, the child and their parents all have rights. Here are a few things you should know about the law and birth in Alberta. When babies are born, the parents must fill out forms to register the birth under Alberta's Vital Statistics Act. A child must have a first name and a last name. In Alberta, there are rules about a child's last name. The parents can agree on giving the child either parent's last name. You can also hyphenate the names or combine both last names. If the parents do not agree on the child's last name, The child is registered with both last names in alphabetical order. If you disagree with this registration, you will have to go to court to change the child's last name. If only one parent is listed on the registration forms, then the child will have that parent's last name. And here's an interesting fact. Vital Statistics can refuse to register a child's first name if it thinks that the name could cause confusion or embarrassment, be misleading, or is offensive. For example, Vital Statistics may refuse to let you name your child Doctor, as this could mislead others into thinking your child is a medical professional. One of the most important things to figure out is who the child's parents and guardians are. Doing so is a legal process set out in Alberta's Family Law Act. A child's parents are usually their birth mother and biological father or their adoptive parents. If a child is born using assisted reproduction, the law sets out a different process to figure out who the parents are. It is important to figure out a child's parents because, first, parents have an obligation to financially support their children. Second, children can inherit property from or receive death benefits for their parents. And third, fathers have a right to a relationship with the child. A guardian handles the care, maintenance, and well-being of a child. A child's parents are usually that child's guardians, but the court can change who the child's guardians are. Figuring out guardianship is also a legal process and is not up to one parent or the other to decide. If you do not know if you are legally a child's parent, see the charts in the companion booklet to this video, also called New Parents. There are more legal issues that can come up as you are raising your child. Are you and the other parent living together or apart? If you are living apart, you should also think about parenting arrangements, decision-making responsibility, and child support. In this short video, we cannot cover all of these topics in detail, but there are more videos and booklets in the Families in the Law series that you can check out to learn more. Children's Services is a government office that investigates concerns about children in Alberta. If your family becomes involved with Children's Services, you should talk to a lawyer about your rights. After an investigation, Children's Services can decide whether they need to help the parents. If they decide the child needs protection, they can remove the child from the parent's care. And remember, as you raise your child, all legal decisions must be made in that child's best interests. For more detailed information on this topic, visit www.cplea.ca/family.